Lesson number 6. Human activity and water pollution. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe how water can become polluted and the effects of these pollutants, and explain how economic and industrial conditions affect the environment and lead to changes in population. 100 years ago, the water in the Norfolk Broads was clean and clear. There was good biodiversity and the water was unpolluted. Then pollution started to become a problem. Sewage from homes and businesses was discharged into the rivers, and boats dumped their sewage straight into the water. Fertilizer was put onto the surrounding fields to increase crops. The Broads is the lowest point in the area, so some of the fertilizer ended up in the water as runoff from the fields. Many of these changes are due to increasing affluence in Britain in the last 100 years. People have more time and money for holidays and leisure activities. The Broads became very popular, and the number of boats and homes increased. As the population grew, there was more pressure on the environment. The result was a damaged environment, which affected the populations of many animals and plants. Barton Broad is a good example of how pollution can affect the environment and biodiversity. Sewage and fertilizers found their way into the water. Tiny single-celled plants called algae grew very fast and the water turned green. This process is called eutrophication. This cut off the light to plants growing in the Broad, so they died. The number of animals in the water decreased. Layers of smelly mud built up. Eutrophication takes place when nitrates and phosphates let algae grow really fast. The fertilizer makes the algae grow fast. The increased algae growth cuts out sunlight and uses up oxygen. The plants do not get enough sunlight and they die. Dead plants and algae build up on the bottom. The dead plants and algae rot, using up oxygen in the water. There are fewer animals in the water. The algae in the water and the mud needed to be removed. A natural way to do this was with the tiny water flea, Daphnia. It eats algae and can multiply quickly. However, water fleas are the favorite food of many fish. So to give the water fleas a chance to do their job, the fish had to be kept away. Areas of Barton Broad were separated off with fish-proof barriers. Gradually, the quality of the water has started to improve and biodiversity is increasing. The chemicals that caused this problem are nitrates and phosphates. Nitrates come mainly from farm fertilizer. Phosphates come mainly from sewage. The levels of these chemicals can be reduced. Farmers can use different types of fertilizer or try alternative ways to increase the yields of their crops. Phosphates can be reduced in sewage works. Phosphates also leach into the water from mud, so removing the mud is another approach. Development in the Broads is now strictly controlled, but more work needs to be done to repair the damage already caused.